Hey, what's up, folks? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me on the very last video of 2021. Unless you're a patron, there's an extra one for you. But today, we're taking a look at this beauty right here. This is the Acta Non-Verba P200 knife. And this review has been a long time coming, so we're finally here. So thank you for joining me. Let's get started. So let's commence with the specs before starting the testing. So this is from ANV knives. You've seen them these last couple of years garnering attention here in the West. They're made in the Czech Republic. You've seen a couple of reviews from different models from Wingman 115, Gideon's Tactical, Nick Shabazz. I haven't really seen anyone testing this particular model. I've had it for about 6 months, so yeah, since summertime. So I'm very familiar with it. Now, they sent it to me. For full disclosure, the company sent this to me. I really like this Kydex sheath. You've seen this rocking on the side of my Roaring Fire bag. And great retention. I'm not normally a Kydex guy. I prefer leather. I'm old school. But this is also just a very modernized type of blade. So it fits this aesthetic. And once again, great retention. So really nice. Now, when you order these online, I believe you only have one option, but since the company sent this to me, they actually sent me two. This is a leather sheath. Now, normally this would be more my style, and it fits very snug, probably to the point of a fault, because when I carry this on my belt, it is ridiculously difficult to pull in and out. Now, I'm sure, of course, with time and, it would loosen up, but once again, I've been using it a lot as a Kydex sheath with the Kydex sheath, so this hasn't gotten a lot of use, so it's still very tight. And yeah, if I have this on my belt, it's going to be impossible to remove, so that's the one drawback as of right now. So the overall length of this blade is 8.15 inches. The blade length is 4 inches. The thickness, it says 0.14. I would say it's about 1/8 inch thick, though it does taper off to be a little thinner over here. It does not have a 90-degree spine, by the way. It's rounded off. It is a flat spine. A flat grind. And the steel is Bowler N690. And right there it says made in the Czech Republic. This one has an orange coating to it, though I don't really see that option available when I've looked around on websites. You can have like a natural finish, a satin finish, other types of finishes on there. And the handles are made out of G10. So they're pretty grippy, pretty comfortable for the most part, unless you're putting some severe pressure on them, then they start kind of digging into your hand. But yeah, some pretty good stuff. Sells for about $115 to $130 from what I've seen online. And yeah, great quality. That's the first thing I'm going to say. It's a great quality, well-made knife that you can definitely feel that as soon as you grab it. So it's testing time. So I've been using this, like I said, for about 6 months, so I have a lot of opinions already on it, and I will, let you know, towards the end, my thoughts on it, where it's great at, where it excels, and where perhaps it falters. But of course, show don't tell. So I'm going to show you guys what this knife does in action. So of course, first things first is we're going to be doing a one-stick fire. Now this is a log of pine. Now pine is not the hardest wood on the planet, but at the same time, it's a big enough log right here, and there's a couple of knots on it as well, so it gives it a little bit of a challenge. We don't want to make it too easy. And then after that, we're going to be cooking up some lunch. So we're going to be cooking up some ravioli, some pasta. So it's going to be chopping through some veggies, some garlic, some mushrooms, sausage. So let's get to it. So full disclosure, folks, this is 2 days later. I ran out of time filming it the first time. It was really windy. In fact, it's even windy today, but what can you do? But anyway, as you saw, this blade was able to baton and feather stick just fine. Now, I never really baton with it too much. In fact, I don't really baton to begin with. I just know that people like seeing that on YouTube, so I do that for reviews. But in case it needed to do it, it could do it just fine. It also did some pretty damn good curls, as you can see right here. So it's serviceable. One thing, now that we're about to start making the fire to cook up our lunch, is it does not have a 90-degree spine, as I mentioned earlier. So you're not going to be seeing any ferro rod action from this blade. Also, I do feel a little bit of discomfort because this handle tends to be very small and quite thin. So the checkering from the G10 handles, they do dig into your palm, and yeah, it does get a little uncomfortable after a while of batoning and feather sticking. So just letting you guys know on that. And let me see, I'm putting some pressure on my hand, see if you can see the impressions on my palm. But yeah, it does get a little uncomfortable. But anyway, like I said, no ferro rod action from this blade, so I'll just use a lighter. And very windy today. So as the fire starts getting nice and hot, we're gonna start chopping up some veggies to start making some dinner. So down here we have garlic, mushrooms, and sausage. So we're gonna be using this knife for camp prep, camp cooking. So let's see how it handles that. White wedge up here, kind of awkward for thin slicing. This is some damn good eating, folks, and it's very simple to make. So in case you're interested in our campfire ravioli, I'll have the link up above so you can check it out, so you can see the full recipe. Anyways. Great stuff. All right, so final thoughts on the ANV P200 knife. So I'm a little conflicted, I'm not gonna lie. So on the plus side, on the pros, it is a very well-made knife, great quality knife. The steel is N690, which is a pretty good steel. The quality, the fit and finish is pretty good. The G10 handles, just all this stuff. The sheaths, really good. However, I'm having a hard time placing it, who this knife is gonna be for. It tends to be like a jack of all trades, middle of the road type of knife. It could do everything, but it doesn't do anything particularly well. I don't know if you caught it. I don't know, you'd have to like have be testing it in person, or maybe you could see it on camera. But when I'm slicing, this thing is not a particularly great slicer. It's a little bit of a awkward slicer because there's this flare out towards the tip of the blade. And I understand they did that to give the tip some strength. However, that makes it a very awkward slicer. Not just, today's cooking, but just generally these last couple of months I've been using it. I caught on to that right away. It's not a particularly good slicer. Can it do it? Can it do some camp cooking? Yes, but it's not going to excel at that. Now, let's talk about, batoning and feather sticking and whittling and carving and all that. Once again, it does it okay, but, say you're batoning. The blade is a little short here. It also doesn't have a 90-degree spine for scraping ferro rods, for scraping bark or thorns from cactus, slime from fish, scales, that kind of stuff. So it's not particularly going to excel at those things. Also, the flat grind, comparing it to a Scandi, it's going to be outperformed. Now, I wouldn't be so critical about it if it wasn't so expensive. This thing runs you, once again, from 100 to 130. I've seen in several different websites. Once again, if I wanted something that's going to excel at camp cooking, game processing, that kind of stuff, for about the same price you could get something like this, which is the Becker BK62 Kephart. Great quality sheath. The blade, you're going to get more blade out of it. The blade's a little longer, so more cutting room there, and then it's a little bit more comfortable in my opinion than this one, because that G10 can get a little aggressive on the palm of your hand. So once again, for the same price range, you can find some better slicers. Now, if you're going for something like a Wilderness Skills, a Bushcraft knife, for $70, $30-$40 cheaper, you're going to be able to get a Mora Garberg, and this one with the Scandinavian grind and the 90-degree spine and a pommel, it's just going to be outperformed. Also, the handle, once again, is a little bit more comfortable. Check that out. So for the price, once again, this I really don't see anybody, really gravitating towards this outside of it being, some kind of backup blade, an emergency kit type of blade. And lastly, one more knife to compare it to is going to be the Work Tough Gear Tile. And I think this knife right here is just what the ANV wants to be, but failed to be. Great quality sheath as well. Around the same size but a little bit bigger, so you're getting a little bit more blade. It's a thicker, stronger, sturdier blade, 90-degree spine, and a more comfortable handle. So it's already being outperformed for around the same price range once again. So I'm very grateful for ANV Knives for sending this to me, and once again, thank you for sending this to me, and it is a really good knife, but it's too expensive, and it's just a master of none blades, sadly. Okay, so that's about the conclusion, folks. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you, ANV Knives, for sending this to us. Unfortunately, this one just did not resonate with me. Now, let me know, guys. Comment down below. Perhaps I am mistaken. Do you own this knife? And maybe you can think of things that I didn't think about, certain tasks that this can excel at. I thought maybe it could make a great tactical knife. I'm not in the military. I'm not SEAL Team 6 or Foxhound or anything like that. So perhaps, I'm not thinking about that. But once again, if I had to think about, some kind of combat knife, I would probably think, make this longer, make it stouter, a thicker blade, beefier, to take more of a beating. This seems a little short and small for that. But once again, what do I know? So comment down below. Maybe I'm mistaken. And if you like this video, go ahead and thumbs up. That helps this video up a lot. And links are down below if you're interested in checking out some of our other knife reviews, or check out our Amazon store where you can purchase another knife like the Mora Garberg or the Becker BK62 Kephart. And that's about it for us, folks. This is the last week of 2021. I'm gonna knock out this video. We're gonna rest for about 2 weeks, and then we will be back for 2022. Many great things coming next year. So thank you all so much for your endless support, your love, your encouragement, and we'll see you then. Thank you for watching. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.